Hello everybody, good Saturday morning to you. Just got back from an archery tournament. My children shot, two of them shot last night, and the third one shot today because he had play practice last night, so he couldn't make the shoot last night. They're doing well. This is their first tournament, so it was a great experience. They got those first tournament jitters now taken care of, so it's time to get down to business and see how we can do this year. But I'm out in the shop, and I want to show you something. I did a video on the crosscut sled that I built, and something occurred to me that evening, and that is I needed one more piece of wood because many times the blade will come through the front fence as you're cutting because your wood is right up against the fence, and it's just an added piece of protection for my fingers back here, even though they should be out to the sides and away from the blade. And also it's going to add an extra bit of rigidity. So this morning I had a scrap piece of 2x4. I just ran it through the planer and just cleaned up all four sides, and then I screwed it to the sled the same as this one, just 4 screws, 2 on each side. So that's going to help me out a lot. I'm getting ready to run these through the planer. What I'm going to do is hot glue them one at a time onto this nice flat piece of MDF. I'll run it through the planer and I'll just get a smooth surface on the top, and then those two smooth surfaces will be taped together to begin my next series of cuts. I've got the hot glue gun heating up right there, and the planer is still out from last night right there. So we're going to get those cleaned up, get them taped up, and begin working on them. I got a buddy of mine, should be here anytime. I promised him a 10-inch 7mm tube for making a modified mechanical pencil. He was making a mechanical pencil for a family member, and we were texting back and forth last night while I was at the tournament. And I asked him if he'd ever made a modified, and I sent him the video, and he liked it better because there's less chance of it bending in the middle, and you can show more of the blanks. So he's on his way over, should be here anytime. I've got the garage open so he can just come on in, and I'm gonna hook him up. So should be a fun day. I got a couple of hours, then we're gonna go out to lunch. My kids had a birthday earlier this week. We're gonna do a birthday lunch today, and then I'll be back in the shop this afternoon, and hopefully I get a few things done. I'll keep you guys posted. Hello everybody, and how you doing? We are back from the birthday lunch. We met with my kiddos' aunt and uncle. They call them Aunt Squirrel and Uncle Frog. Everybody in our family has nicknames. And we had a great lunch. We had some cake, and Aunt Squirrel and Uncle Frog gave the kids a trampoline for their birthday. They've been wanting one. We had one at our other house, and when we moved, we didn't think we'd be able to have room for it over here because the lots are so small, but it turns out we do. So that's what Aunt Squirrel and Uncle Frog got the kiddos for their birthday. So they're really excited about that. We're not gonna set it up until closer to spring because we're gonna have to do a little digging in a couple of areas, kind of level it out a little bit and be able to, tie it down to the ground. But that's enough about the trampoline. Let me give you guys a quick shot of where I'm at. I've been working for, I don't know, an hour and a half or so since we've been home. I tacked each of my blanks to a piece of MDF with hot glue, and then I ran them through my planer, and I put the flat sides together and taped the blank up. Took them back to the saw, I cut them out, and what you've got is blank 1 and blank 2. I mixed the parts. You can see walnut and maple, how I swapped parts back and forth. That's why they're taped together. We cut them long ways like this, and I'm letting those dry up. When they're good and dry, we'll glue the double sections together and so on until we have full blanks. The other thing I've done is this shelf bracket that I have to work on. I've milled this piece of walnut down to the right width and the right depth. And now what I need to do is cut the length. And I've gone ahead and marked it. I don't know if you can see that, but right here, there's where I'm going to cut it off at. And then there's some pencil marks at the other end. You see the curve? Once I cut it off, I'm going to take it to the drum sander and just sort of round these out so that it is as close to this shape as it possibly can be. Well, I'm making good progress. I got this little bracket piece done. It matches perfectly with the bracket piece that I was given. So I'm going to toss these in the car and I'll drop them off Monday at work. Just take them to the lady's desk. She works about 5 offices down from me. I'm making good progress on these funky blanks too. Let me show you. I've taken the doubles and I've gone ahead and put them together to make a quad. So all that's left is there'll be one more glue up there, and then I'll have to glue that little end piece to it to make sure the blank is plenty long enough to be able to adjust it out for any pin I want to make. I've got another one sitting here. This one's got some maple veneers. It's ready to go, and its partner is over here glued up. And then I've got 2 more back there still taped up. I'm not going to take the tape off until I get to this stage. So pretty soon, I hope. I like to start working on my cutting boards, but I'm using my darn table saw top as a glue station. So I'm kind of I kind of hurt myself there, but I don't have room for another table yet. I've still got to sell my big lathe, and then I can put another table in here, and I'll be able to do glue ups and work like that on that table. What I think I'm going to do though is get all of this stuff here. A while back, I made a video about a construction paper blank, and it was a failure because the glue didn't really soak all the way through the paper and stick to the wood on the other side. Turners, when they do inside out turnings, they'll glue a couple pieces of wood together, turn them, then they'll split them at the paper that they glued between them, flip them over and glue and turn them the other way. So I didn't take that into account when I was thinking about this. So what I'm going to do is I've got a couple of options some people have suggested and things that I came up with. I'm going to soak some paper strips in wood hardener, see if that will help. And I've also got some Elmer's school glue here, and I'm going to water that down and coat both sides of the paper. Then I'll hang it up to dry, kind of like a Mod Podge. And I'm hoping it will soak through the paper, absorb, and kind of bond the fibers together. Once that happens, I can treat, hopefully, these pieces of paper that I've either used wood. I'm going to test both to see which works. But I can hopefully then use those pieces of paper as sort of colored veneers inside of some of my blanks. So I'm getting ready to start working on that. It's been a really productive evening, and I'm not finished yet. I'm still going. But let me show you where I'm at on a couple of these projects. The maple and walnut blanks, there's one and there's two. All that's left is when that piece dries, we'll glue the second piece to it. I've started working on a second blank between here and here. And then I've got the third blank laid out because as the glue dries on these, where I use two clamps, I only need one. So I've been slowly, here's the first piece glued up from this one. I can bring the clamps over and start working on this one. So I'm really excited about how quickly that's coming together. I've got my laundry hanging out over here. I talked earlier about the colored paper pin blanks where I inserted colored paper between two pieces of wood and it didn't work. These pieces of paper that you see here have all been soaked in Minwax wood hardener and they're drying. Once they're dry, I'm going to attempt to insert them into, just like a veneer, into a pin blank. I haven't done the glue up with the Elmer's school glue yet, simply because space is really tight in the shop right now. So I'm going to let those dry, and they're drying really fast. But once they're completely dry, then I'll go ahead and take those down and I'll put the school glue on the same number of pieces of paper. I'm going to do actually 6 blanks. 3 in each blank. I'll split the blank in half. I'll put red, green, and yellow paper between it, glue it back together. I'll turn it 90 degrees, split it in half again. You know, I'll do a squiggly split. I won't just do a straight split. And I'll put red, green, and yellow paper in it. And there'll be 3 blanks with the Minwax, 3 blanks with the Elmer's. And then we're going to turn the pins and test them out and see if this works. And if it does, which one works better. So I'll keep you guys posted. Sorry this video is getting long, but there's a lot going on and I hate to make multiple videos. So I'm going to go ahead and put you down for a few minutes, and I'll come back a little later and give you another update on where I'm at. I'll continue to update until I call it an evening tonight. I apologize for how dark the video is, but someone sent me a message and asked if I ever capped off the additional openings I put on my distribution box. And I just wanted to show that I did. You can see I just stuck a little short piece of pipe in there with a cap on both sides. And what that does is it just protects it so that pests can't get in there. Let's say I had a mouse come in the garage. It couldn't climb down in there and then get into the walls and be into my electrical box. Or also, since that's on a drywall wall, there's a brick wall behind it. It was very cold. You could feel cold air radiating, and the caps stopped the cold air from radiating into the shop. They are not glued in. They're just short little leftover pieces of pipe that I had. I just pushed them in there. They're pressure fit. The caps are pressure fit. That way, if I ever want to run another line, and I'm already thinking about running one here real soon, but all I've got to do is pop those out, and I'm ready to go. I'm making more progress. This has been a fun night. I did take a little break to grab some dinner. But I came back out and I got busy again, and I've been working on quite a few things. Let me show you what I've got, and then I'm going to close it down because it is 20 till 9 and I need to get in the house, get this uploaded so that I can make the video for you guys so you'll be able to watch it in the morning. The first 2 blanks of maple and walnut are completely done. They'll be dry tomorrow, and we may attempt to turn a pin. I've got a cedar and maple that just needs one more segment put on it. And then I've got 3 segments here of a cedar and maple pin to finish up. And I've started over here another walnut and maple pin. It's kind of tough to see because the clamps are so huge. And then here's a 6th one here. And back in the back, I've got another one ready to go once I get these out of clamps. I have taken down all of the paper that had the wood hardener on it. It dried very quickly. This is a mixture of Elmer's school glue and water. And it's like I'm making a Mod Podge type of a mixture. And I've got to be really careful with this because as the clothespins flip over, if this touches the clothespins or if paper touches paper, this will actually glue it together. But hopefully those will dry overnight and I'll be able to pull them down tomorrow and get started making some pins out of those. So I'm real happy with where I'm at right now. I got some blanks for these colored paper pin blanks that I'm going to make. And what I'll do, I was going to cut them tonight, but it's not a big deal. I'm going to be doing some more glue ups tomorrow with the wild glue ups that I was doing. So while the glue's drying, I can be splitting those blanks and starting to kind of glue those together. But man, what a great day. I've had a lot of fun in the shop. I've got a lot of neat little things done, and I'm really happy with that. I'm going to go ahead and close this down. I want to tell you guys thanks a lot for joining me and hanging out with me today. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it doesn't get too long. I don't know how, I really don't know how much I recorded. I just kept popping the camera on every chance I got, but I hope you enjoy it, and looking forward to your comments. Come back and see me again real soon. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.